Today I want us to open the can of worms. Women and accountability. Why the hell is it that women cannot be accountable? In fact, those of you who have ever tried to get a woman to be accountable for her mistakes, you know how hard it is. You're either going to be met by a deflection or a justification, but never an admission of guilt. And I'm going to give you an example. Say you find your girl in a compromising situation with another guy, not necessarily cheating, but just being a bit too comfortable, and you confront her. What does she tell you? Oh, you're being too jealous, you're being insecure, you're overthinking, he's just a friend. Deflections, deflections, deflections. Never an admission of guilt. She can't bring herself to say, okay, baby, I'm wrong for being too cozy with another man. It's never going to happen again. They can't. Now, let's actually assume you actually found them red-handed cheating. What do? They justify. Oh, babe, you're never always around. In fact, you don't give me as much attention as you used to, and he's always around. She's justifying. She can't admit that she's wrong. She's going to justify it. In fact, if she's the disrespectful kind, she's going to insult you, but the insult is going to be phrased as a justification. Oh, you don't know how to please a woman. You can never satisfy me. Oh, you're not well endowed. Insults, yes, but justifications. Never an admission of guilt. Let's compare that to a man who has been found in the exact same compromising situation. What do? Babe, I'm sorry, I can explain. See the difference? See the difference? So why is it that women don't come equipped with this software? Well, it's not a natural thing. It's a nurture situation. Society has made it that way, and it starts in the household. If you observe most households, when you have a boy child and a girl child being raised together, it becomes awfully easy for the parents to discipline the boy, in a manner that is of equal seriousness to the mistake that they did than it is for the girl, because there's a certain softness that's associated with girl child. That soft aspect of femininity, it starts at that very early age. For some weird reason, the parents have it intrinsic that, oh, this is my baby girl, So the two of them have been found doing the same mistake, but the boy will get a proper ass whooping, but the girl will get a guidance and counseling session. By the time the boy is getting an explanation for what he did is wrong, he already has 2 or 3 slaps on his face. And that gets him to understand, oh, this is really wrong. So it becomes a system that crops up the man to understand wrongdoing and the consequences from a very early age. For the woman, or for the girl child in that particular situation, the information is going to be packaged in a much softer tone. So she never really understands the graveness of the mistake she did, because the way it was packaged, it wasn't to the same seriousness as she observed with the brother. And in fact, it goes even further as to a situation where you find that maybe you have kids of multiple genders in one household, and maybe the daughter starts crying. The brothers are going to have a very hard time explaining, oh, who's making my baby girl cry? But if it's the other way around, if the boy starts crying, the daughters are not on the hook. You see? So that aspect of the lack of accountability starts from the household. And that's what makes it hard for women to conceptualize the graveness of the mistake that they did. That's why in their minds, it's never that deep. And that's why that statement is a creation of women. It's not that deep. It's not that deep. Even in their adulthood, when the mistake they've done is a life-altering decision or something that has permanent consequences, still, it's not that deep. They could insult you, be disrespectful to you, and when you confront them, it's not that deep. That starts in the household. Now, you might think it starts and stops there, but it doesn't. We go to society. Society also doesn't enforce any accountability measures on the women. It still treats them exactly the same way they're treated in the household, in such a manner that if a woman does something wrong, there has to be a justification for why she did that something, or a deflection as to why that situation exists. But it's never really a mistake, provided she's the one who did it. It's never really her mistake. What are the circumstances that led her to doing this? Oh, don't you know, maybe she was under a lot of stress, blah, blah, blah. But if a man was to do the same thing, how dare he, You get what I'm saying? And that's at a societal level. Let's get even to the legal side of things. When we get to the gender dynamics of consequence from a legal perspective, women are still cautioned. And that's why you can find a lot of them being openly disrespectful and violent to men, because they know there's no consequence that's going to fall on their part. But if the man was to respond in an equal measure, they can sue, and the guy is going to end up in prison or compensating them financially for damages. So that's why they get to walk around with this entitlement of even when they are wrong, they are not wrong. Now that's a legal system issue. We've seen the family level, how it is, the society, how it is. Now that's a legal system issue. Now let's get to the social groups that they form, because every girl at some point will end up forming a circle of girlfriends. That's what they call them. And these are the close friends. They are each other's emotional support groups. So when one of them goes through something, they go air it out to the group, and the others can, sympathize and comfort her and all of that. And if you have ever had any chance of observing what happens in these girls groups, even when the woman is the one who did the wrong thing, maybe it's a breakup situation and she was the one who did something wrong, the friends are never really going to push this woman to be accountable. It's always, oh, he deserved it, it was just a matter of time. And even when the man does something to the woman and the woman goes reports to the friends group, and maybe she's the one who did something wrong, it's always, okay, what did he do for you to do that? What did he do for you to do that? It's never, okay, babe, you were wrong here. Never happens. So now that's at a social level. In their friends groups, they have this bubble. Now let's go to the media they consume. The K-dramas, the telenovelas, all these romantic things that they love watching, and even the romantic novels they love reading. There's a particular character trope that has been pushed in all these narratives that is very feministic, where it tends to follow the same pattern. Anytime a woman does something wrong, there has to be a justification for it. So that means it's never really wrong because circumstances made her do it. So there's never any consequence. And you can find that in the material they're reading, in the media they're watching, in terms of the series and the movies, and also the books they read. The media they consume is so full of that type of character trope where the woman can never be wrong. So if you look at it, the entire environment of a woman, be it psychological, be it the social aspect, be it the societal aspect, be it the family level, there is not a single construct that pushes accountability on the woman. None at all. None whatsoever. And that's why I say this problem is more of a nurturing issue. It's not a natural problem. Because the mistake people do is they try to assume that women are naturally born with the inability to take accountability. No, 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 no. Society made it that way. If society was to somehow change and enforce accountability measures on the women, they would immediately start taking accountability. And that's actually the main reason why you find that anytime you find a woman who has been found in some type of wrongdoing, and that could be one of the worst things. I think I observed a case like this a few times, a few weeks back, when a woman did a very heinous act. She offed her kids, and at that moment, instead of actually holding the woman accountable, everyone was asking what could have led her to do such a thing. This is a woman who has offed her children, but what could she have been going through for her to do that? Let's compare that to a man in that situation. So it's never, even when something is extremely morally wrong, it's never imposed upon the woman that this is something bad, you shouldn't have done that. That's the root problem of all this. Society is to blame. The women are just responding to the environment that we have created for them. So that being said, I hope you've learned something new. I'll see you in the next one.